Hi there, I'm Clifford Bates, and welcome once again to Reading Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. Today we're continuing Book 6, which deals with intellectual virtues, looking at Chapter 9, which now deals with the question of, the question of investigation, deliberation. What does it mean? What is the difference between deliberating and investigating, right? So let's look at it today. Investigating and deliberation differing. For deliberation is a sort of investigation. So even though deliberation is a sort of, they differ. Even though deliberation is a sort of investigation, but one ought to grasp what a good deliberation is as well, and whether it is some science, opinion, good guesswork, or is it some other kind of thing. Now, literally genus is the other genus of a thing. It's some kind of so what is it? What is investigate deliberation? Is it merely investigation, or what? It is a sort of investigation, but they differ. But what it is, and ought to grasp what good deliberation is as well, and whether it is some science or is an opinion or some guesswork or some other thing. Now, it is certainly not a science. Now, science again is a science here, episteme here is again a deduction from principle, something that's true here that then we apply here, right? It's derived from it. So therefore, it is not a science. It's not something derived from something else. For people do not investigate the things they know, but good deliberation is a kind of deliberation. So, in other words, for people do not investigate the things they know, right? But good deliberation is a kind of deliberation, and he who deliberates investigates and calculates. So, investigation is something you don't investigate what you know already. You investigate what you don't know. But good deliberation is a kind of deliberation, but it involves he who deliberates, investigates, and calculates. But neither is it good guesswork. So it's not good guesswork. Deliberation is not good guesswork. For good guesswork is both unaccompanied by reasoned argument and something swift, whereas people deliberate for a long time and assert that while they ought to do swiftly what they had deliberated about, they ought to deliberate slowly. In other words, the question is, in other words, that there's intentionality behind it. What do you call um, guesswork? Is not much intentionality, but it's just quick. It's guess. No, no thing. What it's deliberate. It's reasoned. It's, in other words, reasoned argument. Some kind of some justification, some aspect of here. And it's not. It's not. This is the problem. The prudent person appears like it's good guesswork. The prudent person knows the good thing, and he knows that. In other words, see the idea that the prudent person would know what is right there. It's not good guesswork, though. He knows that he knows it. He knows what is the right thing to do. In other words, he percept the correct action. It's not that he guesses at it; he knows it. In other words, it's not that he is guessing; he knows it. Therefore, there is a kind of rationale to it. There's kind of a deliberate character about this, and that people deliberate a long time assert that while they ought to do it swiftly, they have been what they have deliberated about, this idea that they've think of this in that sense, right? So it's not guesswork, even though the swift one would make it appear, a prudential person who's quick about his deliberation would make it look like it's guessing, because the argument is that, well, we'd be more sure it's not guessing when it's done. It's kind of taking longer, right? But that's not necessarily the question. What is the difference between good guessing, you know, good guesswork, and correct deliberation is that it's true, it's correct. He knows it. He know that it's done knowingly, not accidentally. Okay, one is guesswork is accidental. Deliberation, proper deliberation, is correct. Right. So, for good guesswork is accompanied by reasoned argument in the Swift, right? Um, and so I think the Swift is it is not, in other words, it's not intentional, it's not deliberative in that sense. So people deliberate a long time solely now. So therefore, we dealt with the different distinction between prudence and guesswork, or deliberation and guesswork. Now, shrewdness. Further, shrewdness is something other than good deliberation. Though shrewdness is a sort of good guessing. So shrewdness is kind of like is a sort of good guessing. It kind of knows what it is. It's not deliberation. Good deliberation. Good deliberation. It knows what this is. Shrewdness is kind of like, it is. In other words, it is neither good deliberation, and neither is good deliberation any opinion. It's not, because remember, opinion is a belief. It's not. It's not knowledge. It's we believe this to be true, not that we know. In other words, deliberation is a knowing to be true, not a believing to be true. Since someone who deliberates badly errs, and he who deliberates well does so correctly. And it is clear that good deliberation is also a sort of correctness, but not correctness of either science or opinion. In other words, so it's not a correct. In other words, the correctness is it's not a correctness of opinion or correctness in science. Remember, science is the proper deliberation. Here, correctness of opinion. But for of science there is no correctness, nor is there error. The correctness of opinion is truth. For of science there is no correctness, nor is there error. So therefore, you either do it correctly or don't, right? And correctness of opinion is truth. And at the same time, too, everything of which there is opinion is already determined, right? Opinion is something that has been determined. Everywhere there is an opinion is already determined. Yet surely good deliberation is accompanied by reasoned argument. And so it remains that good deliberation is correctness of thinking. For thinking is not yet an assertion. Opinion is not an investigation into something, but it is already a specific assertion. Whereas he who deliberates, whether he deliberates well or even deliberates badly, is investigating something and calculating. In other words, it's a combination of investigation and calculation. So what's the difference? It is a form of investigating, but it's also a calculation. So shrewdness is just a calculation without necessarily an investigation. Okay. Good deliberation is rather a certain correctness of deliberation. So good deliberation is rather a correctness of deliberation, deliberating well, right? Hence, one must investigate first what deliberation is and what it is concerned with. So we need to investigate what deliberation is, right? What deliberation is and what it's concerned with. Now, since correctness has various senses, it is clear that correctness of deliberation is not every kind of correctness. For a person lacking self-restraint, or the base person will hit on, as a result of calculation, whatever he sets before himself as obligatory, his end or purpose, with the result that he would have deliberated correctly, but nevertheless not gotten hold, but nonetheless have gotten hold of something very bad. So attain, remember, hit on is to truchen, to attain. Hit on is truchen, kind of like to get, like this. And the word here for this obligatory We translate the word we translate as arbitrary, Daean, is derived from the medieval translation of Robert Gertisk, and apparently some manuscript stories a slightly departure from the difficult meaningless, from the difficult Burnett meaningless regarding the manuscript of Eden, and reading adopted text defending by Gurnet as well as Gautier and Gillief, so meaningless. This is why they're translating this word. It's differently. Dien, not meaningless. Himself as obligatory, not meaningless. Himself as meaningless. So it's a very interesting translation choice. In other words, why? Because the argument here is that you can deliberate, but bad deliberation is that you make what a good deliberation is that it's not going to be very bad. Something it's correctness here means not just doing it properly, not doing it like this, but getting the right actions, healthy, beneficial actions. But to have deliberated well seems to be something good, for such correctness of deliberation is good deliberation, which is apt to hit on what is good. So it's not just correct in that sense. It's not just that you've gotten what you aimed at, but what you aimed at is also good, beneficial, not harmful. You can, in other words, there is a calculation where you get what you aimed at, but what you aimed at is not beneficial. What is apt to hit on what is good? It is possible to hit on this also as the result of a false syllogism, and to hit on what one ought to do, but through the means one ought not to use. The middle term being false, the meson. Not the term, not meson, okay, this is right. Not the term translated as middle term or meso, but rather ho meso horos. This is technical, logical from the prior analytics. And on context, on this meaning of heros as well as this would be the middle term of a syllogism, right, as being false. In other words, how you get the right answer, but you got it the wrong way. Okay, that's luck also. See, it is possible to hit on the result of a false syllogism. That is, to hit on what would ought to, but through the wrong means, right? So therefore, deliberation is not only hitting the right end, it is achieving what is right through the right way. Okay, this is what it is good deliberation aims not only at hitting the thing you're aiming at, but hitting it in the best possible way too, the correct way, the true way, not a false, not in other words, the middle. The middle term you use is the correct one as well. The way you get there is also true, correct, or good. As a result, not even that deliberation. As a result, not even that deliberation, though which one hits on what one ought, but not by the proper means, would yet, in other words, would yet be good deliberation. So therefore, anything. As a result, not even that deliberation would be good deliberation, even though in other words, it's again, if you don't, it requires you not only hitting the correct, achieving what you want to achieve, getting what you want, but also getting it in the correct way, the valid way, the correct way, valid way. Further, it is possible for someone to hit on what he ought to by deliberation over a long time, and while others does it quickly. Lengthy deliberation then is not yet good deliberation either. Rather, it is correctness that accords with what is beneficial and aims at what one ought in the right manner and at the right time. So therefore, this is interesting. It's correct. In other words, good deliberation is not. It's lengthy deliberation then is not yet good deliberation either. Rather, it is correctness that accords with what is beneficial and aims at what one ought to in the right manner and at the right time. So, therefore, this is correct deliberation is thus what it's, in other words, that good deliberation, lengthy deliberation, is not good deliberation either. In other words, it's not length. And this would then modify this other thing, the earlier account, a little bit, the earlier paragraph that I hit hide on. In other words, it's good. It's yeah, okay. It is correct. It is the correctness that accords with what is beneficial and aims at what one ought in the right manner and in the right time. Further, it is possible to have deliberated well both simply and with a view to a certain end. Both not only simply and with a view to a certain end. Good deliberation simply is what one that which guides us correctly towards the end simply. But a specific sort of deliberation is what guides us correctly towards some particular end. So there's both simple deliberation, simple things, and but also deliberations towards specific ends, right, to a certain end. So if having deliberated well belongs to those who are prudent, good deliberation would be correctness in accord with what is advantageous in relation to the end, and and about which end produces a true conviction, true belief, This is why we have to get this word here. I'm sorry, we have to go back up here. Conviction, hypolesis, right? Hypolesis. Good hypolesis in that sense. A true conviction, correct. That we know what the correct aspect of this. Well, we're going to stop here. If you have any comments, questions, or issues you want more clarification, please put it below, and I will respond to it when I see it. If you really want me to say anything more about this, for the sakes of anything, um, like it, hit the like button, hit the like buttons, share it far and wide, share it with your friends, share it, mention to others. It'll help the algorithm if you've do like it. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you didn't like it, you can always hit the thumbs down, but say why, so we can learn from it. In other words, we say what's wrong, explain, so people can benefit from it. Correct? Even I can benefit from it. Even maybe. Another thing you can do is if you can follow me on social media. Want to follow me on social media? My social media links are below. If you want to know more about me as an academic and see my scholarship and things like that, you can follow my academic social media links below. If you want to help me if you want to contribute financially or assisting me to doing what I do here, you can do so through subscribe to our Patreon, or you can buy one of my books listed below, either by your local bookstore or through an online seller like Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever. And if you want to if you're studying Aristotle's politics, you want to and you still want to help me a little more, you can do so by buying my notebook for Aristotle's Politics through Lulu directly, because that will get the money that the bookstores get. Well, that's it. We'll look next time. We'll see each other looking at chapter 10, and we will continue on this next time. We'll continue. Turn to chapter 10. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.